Hello, good evening, guys. Welcome to the Gooner Booth. Just waiting for Tony at the moment. We've got a technical glitch, so just have to deal with me by myself right now. But anyway, good evening. Lovely to see you all. Yeah, as our title suggests, Martinelli looking like very likely he's going to Al Halil. Halal, should I say? Um, yes, it's a tough one. I mean, I'm pretty sure once Tony gets over his technical glitch when he explains himself. Listen, we as Arsenal fans, we've seen 7 years of Martinelli. Uh, he's he's one that divides a lot of people, but one thing you can't deny that every Arsenal fan loves him. You know, and it's a major shame. It's just one of those positions in the team where you needed to upgrade. I was at the game, and I'll do a quick breakdown of the Coventry game. I was at the game, and seeing Solis up and down that left wing, took the ball, he was direct, he was attacking the box straight off. It was refreshing to see, and I mean it in all due respect. It might be refreshing to see a different player, but Trossard gave us, he gave us those clutch moments. Martinelli, Martinelli as well. He had his moments, and listen, we can look at it differently now, but Martinelli scored one goal in the Premier League, which it's not great, but that one goal was the equalising goal against Man City. And if Man City win that game, could momentum have shifted their way? It's a point gained as opposed to 3 points lost. And Martinelli was part of that great ball by Eze. Martinelli put that ball in. He's had his moments over the years. Tony, when I'm sure he will elaborate on when he does come on, and I will obviously pass it over to him. In our private chat, we we used to say he looks like he should be a striker. He started at this club playing centrally, good finisher, could get his head on it, scoring goals. He looks a good player. When Mikel took over, and it was he, as you all remember, he won the FA Cup with three at the back. So obviously he played a different way. Martinelli wasn't used as a central attacker as much. And yeah, listen, it's a major shame. Gyökeres divides opinion, but he's obviously a central striker in that mold. Sorry, guys, apologies. Martinelli would frustrate in equal measure than he would be a phenomenal sort of a player. He's got a pace, playing in the channels in between the lines. He can finish, Martinelli, when he can. Sometimes it's that killer edge. But his game at left wing is highly sort of it's judged differently, even though his work ethic is phenomenal. He's one of the best defensive left wingers in the world, but I think that kind of negates his attacking side and has negated his attacking game over the years. And listen, that can only be down to the manager in terms of how he plays. Because Martinelli, you'd never find a harder working player. So yeah, I mean, my thoughts on that, look, it's a massive shame if Martinelli goes. But listen, he deserves he deserves to chase the bag, as a lot of people online are saying. And I reckon, a year, 2 years, gets his money in Saudi Arabia, you'll see him back in Europe. If he is to go, good luck to him. He deserves everything. He's worked his socks off, loves the football club, and we wish him all the best. But if you just bear with us, once Tony's back online, he will get his thoughts. He's a little bit more upset. I don't want to see I didn't want to see Martinelli go. It's just that upgrade, that different attacking, that elite attacker, and we're all asking for that shiny new toy or that elite attacker, if you like. But it's finding that player that can slot straight into the team, and do that business from the left wing. But listen, my opinion is good luck to him. If you haven't got anyone lined up, as Tony says in the title, stay or go, he's got to stay. Do you know what I mean? But I can't see the club selling Martinelli, agreeing to his sale, unless they got someone lined up. So let's see. There's been a few. We'll kind of elaborate again. I'll go back to the commentary game because I've gone off a tangent again onto Martinelli. It was quite a refreshing game to see. It's enjoyable. The atmosphere was brilliant, guys. The pressure's off. The pressure's off the players. Pressure's off the fans. We're Premier League champions now, and it showed. I thought obviously first half we played well, as I said earlier. You know, Solis and his directness was really good to see. He just wanted to attack that box. You know, and this is what I come back to, and a lot of people who watch me on here will know that yeah, I am a fan of Gyökeres, but in what I mean by being a fan of Gyökeres is that I want to see the guy do well. You know, he is technically limited, but you know, if you've got someone constantly feeding him goal, you know, shots after shots, chances after chances, he will score goals. I have no doubt about that. And I think a guy like Solis will also help that. And this is where it comes into obviously Gyökeres and his future. You know, on that Friday night, you know, great finish by Havertz. He didn't play Gyökeres. You know, there's no need. Obviously, other players were coming in fit, but I just thought to myself in the second half, we got an early goal, lucky deflection, whether Odegaard meant it or not. But it's quite a funny goal because that goal actually went in on my end, so you could see it directly. That he's obviously mishit it. But it was great to see. But then obviously the game's done. So what Mikel was trying to do was obviously just get the players that have been at the World Cup, get them fitness, get them firing, sort of thing. You know, and I think it wasn't really necessary to bring Yok on. So of course, when Yok doesn't come on, you're asking yourselves in the stadium, you're asking online, could that mean something? So this is what leads me into my next point. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff on X at the moment, whatever you want to believe or not. You know, in regards to Alvarez, there are far-fetched accounts that think they're in the know, saying it's done. Barcelona based are saying it's not done. He wants to go Barcelona. It's all hit and miss at the moment. It's all who do you believe, who do you not believe? You know, for me, I'm you know going to wait till an Ornstein tweets. You know, so yeah. Good evening, my friend Dan. Thanks for joining, my friend. Bear with me as I'm on my own. I'm holding fault without Tony. He's had a technical glitch. Let me just read this comment out for everyone. Evening all. Yes, I agree with you about Gyökeres. I think we'll see him firing this season with the likes of Bruno and Solis. Dan, thank you, mate. That's literally all I'm saying. I if anyone joined the last stream that I come on with Tony, Evan, there's a few of the guys, our regulars, were saying Wayne's always you know, backing up Gyökeres. What it is for me, guys, to put my point of view with Gyökeres, is I just see a guy who has his technical limitations, plays in a team that's not playing to his strengths, not feeding him 5-10 chances a game. That's also can also come down. Argument on the other side, I'm with it in terms of that he can also adapt. But I think imagine how many strikers, you know, as get fed that chant. Yeah, I'm gonna have to block this one because the Gyökeres haters join. I think you're also an Eze hater, Jasper. But listen, mate, you know we appreciate it on you. I'm just making my point as I'm saying, mate. I know he frustrates a lot of people, Jasper, but for me, I see what he does on the pitch in terms of, you know, the effort. He knows that if there's limitations or he's struggling, he fights for it. You know, he might not be that. He doesn't pass the eye test, Gyökeres, but you know, when you're fed goals like you are at Sporting, or was at Sporting, even to Coventry to an extent, we didn't do that last year. My point is, and I will stand corrected, and I'll hold my hands up on this stream, on our X, on the Gooner Booth, and my own personal X feed, that I will stand up and I'll be candid. I'll hold my hands up. I just want to see that if there's a tweak, you know, we'll be able to tweak them tactics to suit Yok in his second season. Will he have bedded him better? We all know, you can all see it with your eyes, that Havertz is what he wants. You know, he had. It's going back to Martinelli quickly as well, guys. Like I said, centrally, if we all remember, Havertz was injured. Jesus was injured. His main two strikers he was using at the time. He put Moreno up there. Martinelli come back to fitness, and Martinelli was still not even an afterthought or a thought process. You know, in his thinking. So that type of player is obviously not what he's got. So then Berta goes and gets him Gyökeres instead of Šeško. And it's a different thing because Gyökeres isn't that kind of player. This is the problem. You can't play him as a false nine. You can't play him as a 9.5. You can't play him as a support striker, if you like. He's just an out and out goal scorer. And you've got to realise it's obviously a tougher league for him to adapt to as well. So for me, I just want to see what second season Jock does. That's all I want to do. Whether we sign Alvarez, whatever it might be, guys. Well, I welcome Alvarez. It's quite clear with him that he wants to join Barca, but that's not going to happen. If you're going to come to this football club and Mikel deserves to get the players he wants, put it in. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to put that effort in, but you could see Gyökeres, he puts that effort in, regardless of if he's struggling to get into the game. If it's not quite the game for him, he's still putting that effort in. He's still trying, and that's what I like about him. It's that never say die attitude. It's sort of the mental aspects of the game. So that's where I stand with him. But let's see, guys. I can't wait. I'm just gonna get this comment up for you, Dan. I can't wait for this transfer window to be over. I really can't, guys. That's what I want to put out there. Dan Fry says he is a frustrating player to watch, but that cannon of a right foot will come good. This is the hope, mate. This is the absolute hope. Jazva, thanks again, buddy. Listen, keep them coming, guys. Still waiting for Tony at Jazva. He's got a lot to say on Martinelli, my friend. So thanks for the comment. We do appreciate it. You know that. Jokes aside, I have nothing. Sorry, guys. Get closer there. I have nothing against Gyökeres, but I feel with Havertz, our team flows much better. And Alvarez is a much better version of Havertz. Yeah, 100%. Listen, 100%. You know what it is a Jazva as well. My worry. And please, as I say, I get because I'm defending Gyökeres on my RX channel, my own personal one, and the Gooner Booth as well. I get called a Gyökeres stan. Listen, guys, Arsenal Football Club. I've been supporting Arsenal for say 33 to 34 years. Since I was a young lad. Cheers, thank you. You're well said, Dan. Well said, my friend. 100%. I've been there for a long time. I've seen crap strikers. I've seen crap players. I will get behind any player when you pull that shirt on in the hope that you'd come good. Gyökeres, regardless of what you see and what you've done, he had to hold the fort when Havertz was injured. Moreno then got injured in January. There's certain game states that would have suited a player like a Havertz or a Moreno. For me, guys, I want like a difference. Everyone was. I was critical. I didn't have my channel back then. I was critical on my personal chat with Tony and some other friends about Nketiah. But you can't argue by the fact that a team needs a striker that may not necessarily link play, may not necessarily be Arteta's type of striker, but having an option of that player is what you need. Going back to that point of Jazva, this is my issue here. I do not hate and will not hate on Havertz. I was one of those before he went to Chelsea that I wanted him to play for the football club. I wanted Arsenal to sign him. We were linked prior to Chelsea coming in and trying to ruin him. He is as I say, like a support striker. I always thought he might be. I've said on this channel that it doesn't seem to work with him and Jock, but I always thought he would be that box crashing player. There's a few times when Gyökeres is doing what any striker will do, not just Gyökeres, any striker, is to occupy the centre halves. He's occupying the centre halves, and you remember that guy against Sporting, and Havertz ghosted into the box, 80-odd minute, it's 0-0, made it 1-0. That's what you want, and that's what I think Havertz can do, but he plays the way that Mikel wants, and that is to have a false nine or a support striker style player. That's the way he likes. Playing with a player like Gyökeres takes Mikel out of his comfort zone in terms of the fact that you can't make a player like Gyökeres do what a Havertz does. But that's for me as a fan. I want to see something different to a Havertz, and just having that opportunity. Cherie, good evening, my friend. Thanks for joining the channel, matey. Let's have a quick read of this, my friend. We don't mind you defending Gyökeres, and we value your opinion. All of this transfer talk is boring, genuinely. We will see where we are come next week. Just signing by from PSG. Great shout. Cherie, I don't know if you guys listen. I don't know. You guys know this is just an honest opinion channel. You guys know you can say anything you want. Have a chat with me or Tony. Anyone's on. We have guests as well coming, as you know, with Dave and Ben. Listen, you guys can say anything. We value any opinion. But we appreciate that, mate. It's getting on my it's getting on my nerves. I think maybe it's because doing this show now will mean that I can be away from looking at and refreshing X for maybe at least an hour, guys. So please keep the comments coming. Stop me refreshing X every 5-10 minutes. It's you're getting so much stuff from on X saying, Gyökeres is going to be sold to make way for Alvarez. But one thing I want to bring up to you guys, which I think is absolutely diabolical, and this is for more so on the club side. This could all be talk with Gyökeres. It could not. It could be genuine. It could be a surprise, and Gyökeres is sold on to allow Alvarez to play on the team. But like a Jasper said, he said that Alvarez is a better version of Havertz. I can't argue there. I can't argue at all. But Havertz isn't going to go. So then, are you going to go and say, right, we're going to move Gyökeres on, who is your different shot out and out? He's not your link-up striker. He's just phenomenal in the box. If you're giving him the chance, if you're feeding him chances, he will score. That's why I want to keep him, guys. But I think it's diabolical. Is we're going to have to say goodbye to Martinelli by the looks of it. Again, anyone joining, anyone new, old guys, Tony's going to be a bit upset. So I'm just waiting for him. So please bear with me as I waffle on. Please keep the comments coming, guys. It is appreciated. But why are we getting rid of Martinelli? Before Jesus, 265k. You know he's not good enough anymore. You should be keeping Martinelli over Jesus. But Jesus, it's nothing but trouble. One club is interested in Fabio Vieira. Can't get rid of him. And Nelson is still on the books as well. And everyone's talking about Gyökeres going before Jesus. And that's when I kind of, I feel I've got to say something where Jesus should not be at this football club and Gyökeres gone, guys. I will whatever is Tony belatedly, guys. Whatever you want to think about Gyökeres, Jesus should not be at this football club. And Gyökeres gone. That is just absolutely disgraceful, guys. What have we got there? Sorry, bear with me. Good evening. Good evening. Thanks again, my friend. Let me just get your name up. You have to just bear with me. Is it Alif? Alif. If I call you Ali, if that's all right, or Alif, please just correct us. Thank you for joining the channel. I believe I've not got a comment before unless Tony has. And yeah, listen. Good. That's a good point here. Gyökeres brings a different dimension to the game. I think he needs to stay for another season, regardless of whether Julian needs to be brought in. Havertz is versatile. 100% agree. Listen, thanks for joining the channel. And any comment here, anything you guys need to say, we appreciate it. Tone, welcome to the chat, my friend. If you want to move, if you want to do your magic and move me over to the left, mate, Ian, I want to pass it over to you in a sec. We've had some good comments, and listen, guys, we do appreciate it. But that's 100%. Again, thanks for joining, mate. But it's 100% right in that you need that versatility. Tone, we've got a few coming up on Cherie, mate. If you're ready to click on there, mate, and read that out.
Apologies, guys. My light blew, so I've been like a nutcase trying to go around trying to find some emergency lighting. So bear with the lighting, guys. Good evening to you all. Hit a like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for all the comments, Wayne. Thank you for covering.
That's all right, mate.
Cherie, good evening. Wayne, do you want to read that out?
Yeah, of course I will, my friend. Yeah, cheers, bud. So, Havertz yacht doesn't work because you face low blocks 24/7. So Havertz 10 is redundant regardless. Alvarez, goodbye. Mbaye, goodbye. Honestly, the next players on the chopping block are Eze Madueke. Listen, I'll tell you what. I'll get another one here, Tony. If you can get, I think Dan's put one, and we've got another one as well. Listen, Cherie.
Go on. Yeah, sad to see Martin go if he does.
Yeah. Tony, I will pass you over to. I've been telling the guys about how you're feeling, Tony. But you know what? You're 100% right, Cherie, and I'll tell you why. Because I know Jasva is obviously up and down with Eze.
There's a bit of a disagreement going on with that there.
Big Smoke. No choice. Big Smoke says, at Dan Fryer, why are you so sad a horrid footballer is leaving? I won't say he's horrid, mate. I just think it's obviously it's a lack of. you know, with Martinelli, he's in. I've said to Tony, and I've said another chat as well. I think he's a striker in Spain. He will absolutely bang. You know, we know he's going to bang in for Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia. But me and Tony will obviously elaborate more on that. But going quickly back to Shiriz before I move on to Charles' point. And good evening, Charles, by the way. Ezra and Madueke, they have to kick on Shiri this year. And I'm an Eze fan like I'm a Gyökeres fan, but I'm also with Sammy Gyökeres, Noni Madueke as well. Is also another one that has to prove himself, guys. Same with Eze, and also a second season Yok if he does get that. If we don't choose to move him on, but yeah, it's up to them, guys. It's time's ticking. The only thing what Noni is, and I said to Tony as well, and he'll back me up. Noni is just the backup for Saka. But if you want to be better, like a Consa coming in when Saliba's out, go and prove yourself in this team. Go and say to Mikel, you know what, like Consa, like Ezri Consa would do. You know, William Saliba is one of the best centre halves in the world, but don't forget about me, boss. Noni at times just seems like he's lacking in ideas. He's got all the pace, but the footballing brains with Saka, Noni's got the pace, if you know what I mean, guys. But yeah, I agree with that, Shiri. We have to look at that seriously. Them boys have to step up.
Cool. Let's fly through his comments and I'll
yeah, go on, mate. And I think you need to. I think go on. I think you've been having a bit of a moment, and I think you need to have your moment. Go beat through them, son. I'll let you say what you got to say.
Yeah, Charles has put away. This Alvarez saga is nothing but genuine frustration for us poor Arsenal fans after what happened on the Vinny saga.
Tony would agree. Listen, quickly on that, Bones, before you do, mate, and I want your thought. But my thought process is, we all know we were used by Vinny to get a better contract. Are we being used by Alvarez to, to forget the Barcelona move? Let's hope not.
The secret Gyökeres haters, Jordan. Charles, we should stop this elite talent gimmick and go after filling squad gaps after high ceiling players from lower leagues like Bundesliga, Baheo, Frankfurt, and Kofoni from Leverkusen.
Good shout, very good shouts, Charles. Very good. I like them, mate. They're very good shouts, my friend.
Dan's notorious big smoke, always wanted the lad to fulfil his potential with us. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Tony will tell you, mate, and I'm going to give it to him. It is massive shame. We all wanted it, mate. Honest to God.
That Eze Noni cameo against Coventry, Lord have mercy. The gap between Saka and Madueke is mad. It is.
Yeah.
See why Ethan is going on loan because the club sees it. Yeah. And I'm going to get into my frustrations, by the way. Let me just get his last 2 comments out of the way right now because I've made some notes. I've gone deep. Right. I've been generally pissed off that Martinelli.
Yeah, that's right, mate.
And I'll go into it. Alvarez is going to end up standing. They're going to tell us at least Berta tried, and we ain't signing no one. I know this football club. Very good point.
Yeah, very good point, mate.
Just Fende, good evening, mate. It's not bad to be sad about Marley. I would say he has done a lot to contribute to our change from banter to champions. Came from the Brazil 4th division for almost no money. Contributed so much. Yeah, to continue on Eze and Noni at a big club, things change quickly. You can find yourself replaced. Let's say Ethan has a massive loan, damn, and diverts when we sign him. And by as a left wing, you are looking to be exiled. Yeah.
No, listen, mate. 100%. They got to fight. They got to fight.
Now, I've got an argument with Martinelli, right? So, if we're looking at everything, right, Martinelli's been a good servant to Arsenal, and I urge you, if he does go Al Hilal and he's getting his big payday, good luck to the guy. He's been a great servant for the Gunners. Well, one thing that I do want to say though, that everyone's been hammering Ian Wright, right? One, he shouldn't have spoke out because he has that privilege of being with the club and he gets access to. So yeah, he shouldn't have said that on Sky Sports of all places. He said on Sky Sports. However, I do agree with the point as he's uncomfortable with how Martinelli's been treated. Some stats, Wayne, on Martinelli, right?
Yeah.
Martinelli versus Saka, of all players, is our star boy, right? And I just want to actually show you guys and prove to you guys that the margins aren't as small as we think they are. So if we go all the way back to the 22-23 season, Martinelli had 34 appearances, 15 goals, and 5 assists. Right?
Yeah.
Saka, 37 appearances, 14 goals, 12 from open play. Yeah. So there was penalties involved in that. Yeah. 11 assists. Who had the
Mm.
better season?
Mm.
Yeah, I'll keep going. 23-24 season. Martinelli, 24 appearances, 6 goals, 4 assists. Saka, 35 appearances, 16 goals, 10 from open play, 9 assists. All right, he had a better season than Martinelli, but only marginally. Right. 24-25. Martinelli, 25 appearances, 10 goals, 6 assists. Saka, 30 appearances, 12 goals, 12 assists. Is there a massive difference? 25-26 season, Martinelli had 14 appearances, 1 goal, 4 assists. Right. Saka, 25, 7 goals, 6 assists. Right. Now, my argument is, now I've been his biggest fan in terms of I wanted him to go as a backup striker this season, right? Because I think he can offer the club big moments, right? Yes, last season he was atrocious, right? But then he hasn't been far off Saka in terms of numbers. He's a good player. And my argument is, if we don't sign a Yildiz, forget about Alvarez, right? I'm going to get into that conversation, right? Alvarez is a striker. He's not a left winger. If we let the left winger go, yeah, the quality of Martinelli, right? He's still young. He's still a Brazilian cap player, right? And we don't replace him with like for like quality. I mean, stick Eze out there because Eze is not a left winger. He's only going to go out there because there's no room for him, and Odegaard's going to be sort of given his opportunity. I'm a bit annoyed because I feel like we're getting rid of a player that we should have just kept. I don't understand the scapegoating that's going against Martinelli because he had a bad season last season. If you look at all the stats, like he scored 1 goal, but if you could make that argument, that 1 goal helped us win the title.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? In regards to Martinelli, mate, it's kind of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. What I want to say to it, which I won't mention his name because obviously he's a personal friend, and whether he wants to be mentioned on my channel or not. But he's the other guy who I share a season. No, I don't share a season ticket, but when the opportunity comes along, he's also got the other season ticket, which my friend at work, he's got 2. So he comes along with me, and he made a good point. And he made a point here because I said there's a lot of rumours, and again, stuff you read on X is rumours, guys. It's always far fetched, and whether you believe that kind of stuff or not. But he said this to me, and because in response to what I said, this is what I said to him. Sorry, guys, I apologise, telling the story backwards. I said to him, Martinelli might be the person. There's a rumor that there's going to be a big sale, and it had to be a big sale for the big amount of signings we had. There's going to be a big sale that's going to upset people. And he said to me, which I think he could be right, that he says he believes that Odegaard's quite lucky, and in that fact, because if we had signed Rodgers, I think Rodgers was an Odegaard replacement. So what
interesting.
Upsetting the fan base. Obviously, you can upset people. Odegaard and Martinelli are big sales. Now you look at your thing; it can divide a lot of things. A lot of people have been upset on X as well. It's the end of an era. Yourself as well, Tony. You make valid points as well. But yeah, I just wanted to put that in there before you carried on and obviously read the comments out, Tony. But I just wanted to say to you, he thought that he said that even Martinelli going, but he reckons Odegaard would have been the one that would have surprised people and gone and would have been the big sell had the Rodgers deal through.
Yeah, no, good point. How are you pronouncing that? Apologies, I think you got.
Listen, my friend, please tell us how we can pronounce this.
Thank you. So, I'm really sorry. I'm going to call you Alif. Apologies, buddy.
Yeah, we apologise, but please tell us what we can say, my friend. We got with a jazz far, and we so please let us know. But thanks for the comment. Go on, Sam, read that out.
Rumour has it that Paxia is being brought in. Would that be an upgrade, or is it just a way to fill the gap left by Martinelli? He's a risk player, isn't he? He's not.
Tone, I think as well, Saints come on. He potentially could be on his way to Sunderland. Don't quote me on that, but I think as well.
Well, actually, Wayne, I was reading earlier before we come on air that Jack Grealish is being explored. So if they can get Jack Grealish, they're not going to go for him. If they get
Jack Grealish, listen, you know what? It's a tough one, Tone, with your comments you made. I mean, with Solis, I think Solis is the underrated. We might not get the Vinny Jr., because a quickly one before we reach Cherise out, and I don't want to waffle too long, guys. Like Tony's just said, and made a very good point in regards to Martinelli's stats. right? Tony's stats last year as well don't include the fact that obviously the goals he scored in Champions League, in the cup games as well. Tony was saying about Premier League was the league, right? That doesn't look too good on him, but stats wise, you know, Barcola's not much better.
Well, if you want the stats,
Williams,
Wayne,
you know,
Martinelli scored 6 goals in the Champions League last year.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Which
he was
my next argument. Let me get his comments out of the way, and I've got an argument on Havertz and Jock, right? Because Jock's now the one in the chopping block, which I don't agree with either. But I've got a very good case to build on that as well.
Thank you. Yeah, please, mate.
Like
Non-Gyökeres haters always aware.
Yeah, well, Gyökeres haters, like, close your ears off, because I'm going to come out with some facts that maybe can't argue with. But Cherie, 2 things are right. Righty was wrong, and right in the sense. Treatment was
see what you did there.
He was wrong in the way he questioned Arteta for removing him in the squad and undermined Zolis.
Yeah.
That's why I said I agree with him in the sense that it's the club treatment is bad, but then also, he shouldn't be saying it on air, right? Especially given that the privilege that he has with Arsenal, and he's an ambassador for Arsenal. He shouldn't be coming out with that stuff on Sky Sports. All he's done is just create a media drive where they're just going to take that story and just drive it nuts. No Odegaard comments, eh?
By the way, Jazva, I believe the way. Listen, you know, on this channel, mate, that me and Tandy is never an Odegaard hate. We might have questioned certain stuff, but listen, Odegaard started well. He was just making a point, my friend, in regards to obviously Martinelli and Odegaard. Listen, I think Odegaard can have a big season. He's got to stay fit, mate. You know, because Tony's point about Martinelli from the 22, 23, 23, 24 season, he was good, and then it kind of dropped. He's dropped off the last 2 seasons.
My argument is, bar last season, because I think the season before, bar last season, he's actually been on par with Saka.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And we all run around going, Saka's elite, Saka's...
Listen, mate, there's stats. Listen, I was having a bad with someone saying about stats, about Gyökeres, saying, how can you say he's a good player with stats? I said, well, statistically, he's a Premier League winner. I said, and statistically, if you look at it, he scored 24 goals assists last year, and he's top of the scoring boards. And who was second on that scoring board, Tone, behind Gyökeres?
Martinelli.
Then it was Saka, and then Eze.
Yeah.
Saka, but one of the things.
Jokes aside, I do believe the treatment of Martinelli might have been wrong, but let's say we had Pep. Martinelli wouldn't have made it to this season. We would have gone 2 seasons ago.
I think I have to say, I think he done. But a quick one as well, Tone. A quick one as well. What I was trying to quickly get at was in terms of these players that have been linked to replace Martinelli. Why I was for Vinny Jr., because I thought, right, you've actually got a player who's genuinely better than Martinelli in the left wing in terms of output. And of course, we all know that was just for him to get a Real Madrid contract. But there's certain players that you don't
Vinny
know.
Won't come in. I said that from day one. Vinny won't come in. It was just a ploy to get.
We all know that. We all know exactly.
Sure, he's put lovely Tony, but if I were to build cases on every attacker on his club, potentially only Saka remains with the Dalman and Ethan. Yeah, look, Mad Wakey, he's not escaping it this season. He's been shocking.
Mate, Dalman's breathing down his neck time. Dalman is breathing down.
I've already told you. Wayne, Dalman is the backup to Saka this season until Mad Wakey does something magical. For me, if you're throwing out Martinelli, then you've got to be just as ruthless with everyone else. I'm sorry. Notorious Big Smoke, what a name that is. Just Bende, if Martinelli truly cared about this club, he wouldn't have traumatized our eyes weak.
Listen, Notorious, you're going to upset Tony right there, as well as again.
Look, Notorious, did you not think he was better through the middle when he was deployed last season? Do you not think he was offering more? I think...
As
a winger... I agree, but it was crap. But yeah, through the middle, last season, I think Wayne was getting the ump with me because every time we went on the stream, I went put him through the middle, and it become a meme for me on this channel with the guys because his movement is brilliant. He'll go and tear up at Al Hilal, and I know it's only Wayne, I just said earlier in the stream, he's going to go to a European club. He's going to be the Gnabry. You heard it here first. He's gonna be a world beater. He's only 25. He's not even his peak yet. So I'm a little bit disappointed that we haven't. We're stuck by Saka. Give him a contract. I think Martinelli deserved another season. I think in this.
I just say in regards to Odegaard last season in terms of Arsenal, and obviously again we're not going to be bashing him, but his form hasn't been great last 2 seasons. We can't argue there. He's not shown his true self. Erdegaard, sorry, like Sherry said as well. Havertz, by the way, I agree with that. Going back quickly, Havertz and Erdegaard have got 2 years left, so they also have to fight for their place as well. But Erdegaard, brilliant in the Carabao, brilliant against Coventry. I saw it firsthand, and the balls and the play. Listen, all we're asking for is keep that up. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, for this football club, I've always said myself that he's a left 8-tone. You know that. I always think he should be further back, dictating play from deep. But we've got too many players now. So in that number 10 role, it's vitally important. Like assists, and I want more goals from Erdegaard. And as a captain of this football club, he's now a champion. That's what I think he should be doing as well. And it goes for Gyökeres, it goes for Eze, Madueke, it goes for quite a lot of people. There's still players in this team that are there for the chopping block zone.
Yeah, and I agree.
Get your head above the parapet and play well. That's all we're asking.
Sharice put, I just cry every day watching our attackers and I see PSG attack with Bayern and Barca. Tears all damn eyes. Imagine Raya Saliba, Gabriel Rice. You see what is ahead of you. You just cry.
Yeah, I know.
That leads me on to my next point. Look, I've said my piece on Martinelli. Good luck to the guy if he goes. It's going to be a big miss, and there's going to be a lot of.
We all know it's going to upset you when he's playing centre forward.
But it's not even that way. It's going to upset me because, in a sense, it's going to be unnecessary pressure on Zolis because Eze's not really a left winger. I know you say play him out there. He can play out there, and he's probably going to have to cover. And I don't care what anyone says. Madueke can't play left wing. I've heard people going, but Madueke can cover the left side. That guy cannot cover left or right. I think he's absolutely pony. And he's got to prove me wrong this season. I know we don't normally dig out players, but from what I've seen of him, Wayne, he doesn't excite me in the sense that if Saka gets injured, I don't think he's going to do a lot.
I can't. When he first started, Tone, it was kind of like a breath of fresh air.
Away to Anfield, Wayne.
He's fell off a cliff. He has fell off a cliff in terms of form. And the problem with him, mate, is it's all up there. And this is what I'm saying. It's kind of like, if he had that attacking brain and that even the mental side of it, it'd be brilliant. And Gyökeres as well. Gyökeres has got that mental side of it. He maybe hasn't got the technical skills, you know what I mean? But he'll keep going. Madueke struggles in that aspect of it. Do you know what I mean? There's a player there, but he struggles in the side of it. If he could get the mental side right, he could potentially be a brilliant player. He just can't get that right.
He's got no end product, Wayne. That's the problem.
That is it. He hasn't. He really hasn't, mate. He really hasn't.
The Tories big show. I feel like Martinelli needs to go somewhere else to fulfill his potential, just like Luis Diaz.
Yeah.
Madueke, your time is coming. Yeah, no, good point.
Listen, Notorious. He has to prove it. He has to prove. Listen, he has to prove it. He has to do it. Come and challenge Saka. Like Tony said, I think he's a left wing. I don't either. Some people online have suggested that thing, Tone. But listen, he has to prove himself. Otherwise, ship out because there's Max Dowman and a Jazva. Madueke hate will be tolerated in the chat. Listen, he has to prove himself.
Yeah, proves the boy. Yeah.
Dowman's there, Tone. Dowman's there to take his place.
Second choice for me. I'm sorry, second choice.
Prove yourself, mate.
What makes me laugh is man who told me Madueke is due a goal explosion. Stop lying to yourselves. If that is possible with a form explosion, it's Eze or Dowman. It is.
Yeah.
Dowman.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it sounds really stupid when you say it out loud. Dowman has done his GCSEs.
Yeah.
He's not interested in going to A level. He wants to concentrate on football. That's him ready now. That's him ready to step up.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Give him more minutes. Just Bende, Madueke even got a so I wonder what he teaches him.
Mate, you know what? Not Notorious.
He looks like he's running faster. Maybe that's what.
Yeah. You know what a personal trainer can do for you, Notorious. He can build your body up and whatever. But it's like, listen, if you ain't got that,
probably got a lovely six pack, Wayne.
He might be trim. He might have been much trimmer. He might have dropped some weight. But listen, if you're not got that end product, if you're gonna, he just reminds me of a left-footed Aaron Lennon, Tone.
Yeah.
He reminds me of a left-footed Aaron Lennon. I used to watch him. Obviously, as older viewers will know and whatever, that my brother-in-law, my nephews at the Tottenham, I've sat there around his house watching Aaron Lennon, and my brother-in-law was waxing lyrical over him. And I'm thinking, you know what? He just seemed he can take players on. He just hasn't got an end product. And that is Madueke reminds me of. He reminds me of an Aaron Lennon. He's got a taller frame, but it's the end product, mate. That decision making. if he had that tone, the sky's the limit for the guy. But yeah.
Just spend a mad week. He should do his A-levels. Max can focus on football. Yeah.
Good point, mate.
Right,
yeah, good point.
My last case of the evening. Right, let me go through some more comments. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, guys. Now, looking at the start of the season, it tells me that Arteta has told us that Havertz is his guy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I'm going to throw some things at you why I don't think he's our guy. Let's forget about, his plan style suits Arteta. The thing you want from a striker is what, Wayne? What do we need from a striker? Goals. Thank you very much. Right? 23-24 season. 30 appearances, 13 goals, 7 assists. Right? 24-25 season, I think he might have been injured. 23 appearances, 9 goals, 3 assists. 25-26 season, again, he was injured most of last season, so we can give him a little bit of a pass. 12 appearances, 2 goals, 3 assists. Gyök, in his debut season, right, this is where I'm big on Gyök here, 56 appearances, all competitions, 21 goals, 14 Premier League goals, may I add, 6 assists in all competitions. So Havertz has been with us for 3 seasons. He's had 2 of them seasons, let's be honest, who's been our main striker. And in all 3 of them seasons, he hasn't scored more goals than Gyök. Gyök's come in his debut season and scored more goals than Havertz, right? Now, let me know in the chat how you feel. But I think that Gyök was one of the biggest contributors to us winning the title last season. And that's a massive statement because a striker needs to score goals, right? So, and I'm gonna go even more deeper on it, right? So we're looking at, I've heard rumours that he's going to Barcelona, right? And I hope they're not true because the reason why we bought Gyök was because Havertz wasn't good enough, right? And everyone's forgetting that. Havertz wasn't getting us over the line. So in the summer, we was all linked with Gyök and Šeško. Right, yes, a lot of people go, I think Šeško suits us better, but look what's happened at United. What's he doing there, right? So he's come in. He's a goal machine, right? He isn't pretty to watch. He isn't good in the eye, right? But he gets the job done. Yeah. I think that the link with Alvarez, right? So everyone's, saying that we bring him in as our striker, right? His stats are poor. I'll give it to you. 48 appearances, 8 less than Gyök last season, 18 goals, 8 of them were league goals, 8 assists. He got 10. He got 10 goals in the Champions League. Martinelli scored 6. So that's why my logic comes into why don't we just give Gyök another season? So I'm hoping that's not true because I would like to see what Gyök does this season. But going by the first game of the season and the Community Shield, why are we, he's putting Gyök back in as his main guy, which I disagree with, Wayne, because in my opinion, right, everyone's got their own opinion, Havertz has had his chance. It's proven that he's not elite enough to do it. Well, by the way, I'm not saying Gyök is elite, but numbers don't lie. Last season, he scored 21 goals in all competitions. Now, a fully firing Odegaard, which we didn't have last season.
We didn't have fully firing SAGA. We didn't have with him.
Azolis, right? Who was a first-time crosser. Have you ever noticed that?
Bruno Guimaraes.
Man
loves
in the box, right? Gyök has got loads to feed off of. So look, by the way, Havertz is a good backup player, but I think that's all we should be. I think Gyök should be the main guy this season. Throw him in, give him an opportunity to improve on them 21 goals. And all right, Havertz, there's an argument that Havertz comes in the bigger games, right? Because we've got to be structurally, shape's got to be there, the closing down's got to be there. But the amount of running that Gyök does, there was occasions in the commentary game where Odegaard was the only one pressing. Yeah. With Solis, right? Havertz, and his movement isn't the best. Right? Don't go on, that's a quality goal, right? And Havertz has got that in his locker, and it was a great finish. But if we're going into this season and you're honestly telling me we're going to spend 120 million on Alvarez to be our main guy and we're going to screw Gyök off. Alvarez done sod all in the Premier League and everyone's forgetting that against City. He wasn't that great, right? What are we going to do? Like, is Havertz going to be our main guy and Alvarez is going to play on the left? Come on, like, what are we doing?
Tone, a quick one there, not to intercept, but just to quickly add to that point, and I want to tell everybody, right, that if we get rid of Gyökeres, yeah, you're gonna swap him for Alvarez. You've got 2 support strikers playing up top. That's what you've got, right? You've got 2 of the same striker. You haven't got an out-and-out player.
It gives us something different, Wayne.
It gives us something different, and there is nothing wrong with different. And like you said, Tony, you make a good point. It's look, as I said to everyone, have a look as well, Tony, and maybe not so much now because we'll get these comments out as well. But get if you can. One of us do the research. How many chances was Yacht given, and how many did he miss? Because I can tell you, Yacht gets about 2-3 chances a game. As someone like Havertz gets about 5, 6, or 7, and everyone's going, "Oh, look, they're feeding Havertz." That's because they know, right? Feed Gyökeres and he will score was me and Tony's thing that we said last year. And that is what we're trying to say this year. I want to see Yok be fed constantly. Right, that's a 6th chance. That's a 6th chance. Yok's missed it, or it takes Yok 6 chances to score a goal. We'll start going not this year. Yeah, maybe not. Give him the chances. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Create.
I think keep him, Wayne, and give it.
He has to be kept, Tone. I'm sorry, I can't get. Yeah. Alvarez can be a necessity in certain things. I like was it Shuri or Jazz? I apologise, guys, because we've had a few comments. Alvarez is better than Havertz, right? So your option there then is get another outsider. Could you imagine though, thinking about it, and look at this lineup, guys? Whatever you want to look at, whatever you want to swing it, because obviously at the moment it looks like we might bring in Alvarez and no left winger, Eze or someone else will cover Tone. Solis, Alvarez, Saka, Yok. Just for argument's sake, finishing a game off or starting certain games. Alvarez behind a Yok. That will bang. I'm sorry, I think that will bang.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Let's get through some of these comments, Wayne. I appreciate everyone jumping on. Hit that like button, please. Helps us out a lot. Shuri, I don't like Havertz or Yok, but at least they have given us purple patches of good form. Yeah. Same with Saka, Eze. They can give you good patches that carry you over a 6-game period. Even Marino. Never forgetting about Marino, aren't we?
People forget about Marino. I just want to put it out there. I'm looking forward to it because I think Marino's clutch. And I think he will be an important player. I think we missed him. We missed him from January to May, guys. I think, keep him fit. Whether he stays beyond next year, well, that's next year's problem. This year, I think he'll come up clutch. He's a very good squad player. I do like Marino.
Yeah, Just Penalty's put, to be fair to Madueke, in the current market, wingers with no end ball has become a trend.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I think Martinelli misses Saka.
He does. Shaka, he does. 100%.
His best season with Shaka's last game at the club.
You cannot. What Tony's just brought up, people don't look at their eyes. People will look with their eyes and say with their stats. If stats don't lie, stats won't lie that Shaka, Martinelli was better with Shaka in the midfield, without a doubt.
Yeah. Just Penny, statistically, we will be very good, but the Gyökeres hate comes from people watching him play. He gets the GA, but his play style is awful to watch. People focus more on what they see.
Yeah.
That's
it's the eye test. He failed. I'll tell you what, Tone. And
he's not pretty to watch. He
fails the eye test. He fails the eye test, but he can score the goals. But he fails the eye test without a doubt.
He's not pretty to watch. I agree with that.
This is the problem. I get that.
But he gives you one thing that a lot of strikers don't in the Premier League now is the energy levels to get around.
Yes, the energy levels. He'll keep fighting. He'll keep fighting, even if he's having a poor game. He'll keep fighting, Tone. And the thing is, I think as well, we was trying a few times, and we saw that, like as Shuri said, that Havertz, he can't play with Havertz. But what he needs, right? Why I'm also kind of want Gyökeres to succeed, Tone. I've been watching for 34 years, maybe it's like 5, 6 years old. You don't fully understand football at that age, of course you don't, guys, but I've been watching it for over 30 years, and I've seen strikers. I see Ian Wright at this football club, and I want to make a point about Ian Wright and Gyökeres, right? Ian Wright was a late bloomer. Gyökeres is a late bloomer, right? Ian Wright was not a fantastic footballer, right? What was he? He was a goal machine. Do you know what I mean? If sometimes the fundamentals are like to get the ball. Ian Wright would get in the spaces, get in the channel, bang, goal in the box. And this is what I want. I want Gyökeres to listen. I'm not comparing the two, by the way, because Ian Wright's a hero of mine on the pitch. But I'm just saying that old school number 9 Tone, that Alan Shearer, was Alan Shearer great to look at? He was strong. He was a battering ram. and he could put the ball in the back of the net. That's all I want from Gyökeres. I don't want my striker to drop like Havertz does, because people were watching Havertz drop into the midfield and going, this is phenomenal. Look at that touch. Look at that flick. Fantastic. I want my number 10 to do that. It's like Harry Kane when he comes into... Harry Kane, by the way, is a fantastic player. Don't get me wrong, right? We've seen that. For England, he drops too deep for me, and it annoys the absolute piss out of me. He wants to be a midfielder, yeah? Gyökeres is your old school. Feed him. He's a number 9. He'll score goals. That's all you want your number 9 for, Tone. Sorry, that's all you want it. If he gets...
We was crying out for a striker like that, wasn't we?
We've been crying out for a striker. He comes in, contributes to us winning our title number 14, and people are going, yeah, get rid of him, see you later. You just can't win. I'm sorry, you can't win. I can't watch Havertz all season because I want something different. I can't do that. Alvarez comes in, it is something different, but it shouldn't be at the expense of Gyök. It should not be in it. You know what? I've got a feeling, and I will hate this, and I will be fuming. I've said on this channel, and I've said it to you boys on our private chat, I've said that you should give this boss who's brought the Premier League home, you should give him what he wants, right? That goes without saying. But if he finishes this transfer window, getting in Alvarez, selling Gyökeres, keeping Havertz and not being able to get rid of Jesus, and Jesus stays like a third choice king striker, I will do my nut.
Yeah,
He is, you know, I love Arteta, and you know that, but he will drop a few, or even Berta, because you cannot. Jesus, Gyökeres should be at this club instead of Jesus. And this Gyökeres goes, you know what? If you're going to play him, I'm going. And his agent gets him a move in the last days of the transfer window. I wouldn't blame him. So he gets a dog's abuse from the fan base. Go and play somewhere where you're going to be loved again, Gyök, because the fan base don't appreciate an old school. This is the problem. They want technical players who look good on the eye. They don't want efficient strikers who are there just to put a ball in the back of the net. We've been crying out for years, and we get one. The first year we get one, hang about, Tone, we're champions. Funny that. Rant over.
Notorious Big Smoke, Danfrey, if you think player misses another player or needs to change positions, 99% of the time they are just washed. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I don't blame Havertz for not getting us over the line. The reason we got over the line because we padded out the squad. Mascara and Cape Eze delivered big cameos throughout the season. Madueke did bits.
I think what it was. I think obviously it was last season. Last season, Tone, we filled that squad out brilliantly. So this is what he did, you know. And you've obviously this was about upgrading the squad this summer. Currently, it's not standing like you've upgraded backup in Konsa, you've upgraded Trossard, and you've upgraded what's his name? Who's gone? Norgard, right? Who else you got? Can you upgrade Martinelli to be a starter left wing? Do you upgrade Havertz? Do you upgrade Odegaard? What have you upgrade? It was about raising the level. Attack, definitely, guys. We've got the best midfield and defence in the world, in the league, arguably in the world. You can't argue that. You know, the depth is brilliant.
Yeah,
it's that forward line. I agree with that, Tone. We're not the greatest in forward lines, forwards.
No, I don't think we've got the most elite attack in Europe. I think
you can't. I'm not going to argue with anyone. I won't argue with anyone.
We don't touch any of the top European clubs. I don't think. I think the fact that we're defensive, we've built an unreal defensive unit in our team. So we've made ourselves tough to beat. And I think that's what Arteta's done.
He's made us tough to beat, Tone. It's now making us elite attacking wise, and that could be the fundamentals of how you play, and that could be certain jigsaws up top. And with everyone in that regard.
Jas Pende's put this response to what I said about Alvarez. To be fair, he was behind Haaland in the lineup. Nobody gets game time with Haaland there. Even Mamouche suffered the same. Yeah, he did. The one thing I'd push back on though is Jas Pende. That's why he left Man City, wasn't it? Because he wasn't getting any game time.
He wanted the game time.
But if we look at his stats in La Liga, right? La Liga, you get time on the ball. La Liga's nowhere near the Premier League in terms of physicality.
Gyök will bang here, by the way. If Atletico Madrid or Barcelona end up getting him and we get rid of him, he'll bang.
He hasn't really bought, torn up trees for me in La Liga. In the Champions League, he's done really well.
Yeah, in Champions League.
Argentina, he looked good in the World Cup.
Different gravy,
I mean, if we sign him, I'll take it, but only if it's added addition, not replacing. Gyökeres plays in slow motion. Lord Jesus, touch Alvarez's heart and let him come to the carpet. Well, someone wants Alvarez. That's
I would say Alvarez with. I want Alvarez with York, and I want
Alvarez.
Right.
Alvarez is an added addition, not a replacement. If he comes in as a replacement for York, then I'm not entirely happy, because then you've got
I'm not happy with that, and I think it's obviously, as I've said before, it's all about that control. You want your players further forward, and you need York to be hitting the channels, hitting the box. That's all I want to see. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see in the second season. We may not see that time by what people keep saying, but let's hope not.
Yeah, Sharice put, I love Wayne, and we agreed that Havertz for the bigger games, York for the smaller games. Havertz was our best player at the Etihad and Budapest. He missed his chances, but he actually turned up. Yeah, look, he was brilliant in the Champions League. But look, Man City, he scored that goal where he closed down Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Look, he had big moments last year, and by the way, I'm not saying that Havertz is, I think have a good season. I'll
back you up. I'll back you up in this tone. I'm sorry to cut you off, but what it is you have to have perspective in regards to Havertz's weaknesses as well as Gyökeres' weaknesses. It shouldn't be let's all jump into York, and that's what you're getting at, and I'm with you there. Let's criticise both players if you're going to criticise.
Yeah, but if you're looking at both, do you not think that they both cover each other's flaws?
That's what I said last time. I said this on the last stream, Bones.
Yeah,
I said this on the last stream, and this is what Arsenal have had with, like, say, Trossard's clutch and his ability. I think he was a better footballer than Martinelli, for argument's sake, but he didn't have the pace, And if like I say, with his Solis, he's got pace and he's like a Trossard, where but he's got this. He wants to put the ball in the net. If you had Trossard and Martinelli as one, that'd be a fucking sorry guys. My French. I do apologise. It'll be a great left winger. Same with Gyökeres. You will have Gyökeres meeting Havertz's ability, right? Because Haaland is a phenomenal finisher, but he'll go missing in a game, and he'll turn up and head the ball in the back of the net because he's an elite goal scorer. He isn't a footballer like a Havertz. Havertz has got the footballing ability. He hasn't quite got that killer instinct that York would have in front of goal, or like a Haaland. York, Havertz, combined as a player, is world class. It's an elite centre forward. Unfortunately, Tom, both them players have them different aspects that they make each other's game better if they were the same player. Unfortunately, they're the two players.
They're both frustrating. They both have frustrating.
They can both frustrate you guys. This is what we're trying to get at. If we're gonna criticise York Tone, we've also got to look at Kai's flaws as well, and we have to be level-headed in that. We both love them. They play for the Arsenal. That's the main thing. We want Arsenal to win trophies, be the best. But if we're going to criticise one, let's also kind of step back a bit, because Kai was mollycoddled in this team. His hand was held. He was shocking when he first come, But Gyökeres he's had no love. He's had his celebration. He's had no love from any Arsenal fan. There's parts of the fan base that love him. Kai was mollycoddled into this team, and he was forced and boom, held hand, and he was there, and he improved in the second half of that season. Gyökeres has had no love, and doesn't get a lot of love from Arsenal fans, right, the way that Kai does. But, Kai is not without his faults. He's not a perfect football player. So we have to kind of be, as Arsenal fans, be level with if we're going to criticise one. Gyökeres has not once had his hand held by this Arsenal fan base. Not once.
Yeah. Shreves put, can't believe I'm defending York, but he was one of our best players over the 2 legs in the UCL.
He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal, mate.
Unplayable.
It's quick, he was phenomenal with that.
Why do you think Atletico won him? They wouldn't mind taking him,
Exactly.
Jazz Penn has put, if the boss gets what he wants, Gyökeres goes. Alvarez and Havertz are both obsessions of Arteta. Gyökeres was not even a choice of Arteta. He wanted Sesko. Yeah,
this was my thing, Jazz, to challenge him, Tone, to challenge what he wants as a centre forward. But you're 100% right. I can't argue with that.
Based on York's first season, surely Arteta looks at it and goes, actually, he gives us something a little bit different. He isn't my cup of tea, but he does do things differently. He holds the ball up. He chases down lost causes.
Yeah.
Some strikers are nowadays the hardest job on the pitch because you're chasing shadows for 80 minutes until you get a chance. Look at Haaland, right?
Yeah.
He'll do absolutely sod all for 65 minutes, and he'll come up and he'll have a header or he'll have a chance, right? Strikers can wait a whole game to get in their moments.
So
That's why Jock runs the channels and does what he does. You've got to appreciate things like that, because Havertz doesn't do that. That's why Havertz comes into midfield to get the ball.
Yeah, he does. He drops deeper, yeah.
But Jock's there. That's what I'm saying. I think because Zolis gets the ball and crosses it nice and low. We weren't doing that last season. How many times did I come on air and go, Wayne, why aren't we crossing the ball? As soon as he goes off the pitch, we cross the bloody ball.
Tone, some of them balls that Solis was putting in against Coventry, Jock would have got onto, and he would have maybe put the ball into the back of the net. Another quick one on that point as well is, can I ask fans, I want to fight in general, listen, scoring a penalty. Hello, Terence. Nice to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining the channel, bud.
Freaky.
Just a quick one, right? Penalties, you should score if you're a quality player. You should score from the box, but sometimes pressure gets to you. Last season, do you trust Havertz to go to the Metropolitano against Atletico Madrid and put that ball on the spot and put it in the back of the net with all them fans? Would you have trusted Jock? Next season, if you haven't got Jock, do you trust Alvarez or do you trust Havertz to put that ball in the back of the net? You might trust Saka, but Saka could miss it as well. Gyökeres, whatever you want to say, I'm not saying that, he's a great penalty taker, keep him. What I'm saying is he takes penalties under high pressure, puts the ball in the back of the net, see you later, I'm walking back. Do you trust some of them players, most of them players above Jock, to put that ball in a pressure situation when you need someone to do that? Because penalties are the worst things to take. They're the worst things to take. You're 12 yards out, of course you are. But they're the worst thing to take when you're getting booed by 80,000 odd fans from, you could be in the Bernabeu. Tone, Bernabeu, semi-final. Vinicius Junior scored. You need Gyökeres to score a goal to get us through to the final. Would you put Gyökeres on there? Would you want a Havertz? Would you want Alvarez to put that ball on the spot? You'd want a Gyökeres. He scores goals under pressure. He has come up in semi-finals and scored goals. He has come in and he's scored goals against Tottenham. Tottenham could have been in the ascendancy away at their ground, couldn't they? But he scored. He put the game back into our grip. Let's not... Everton as well, we do crap at Everton. He stood up, put the ball in the back of the net. Penalties can be simple. Penalties can be pressure. But he put the ball in the back of the net. We have to keep that as well. That's what I want. That's the mentality side of it. That's why I'm kind of on his side, Tone,
I just think he needs another season. I think you just signed the guy. You just signed him. He's had an average season. Actually, people predicted, look, they're not expecting much from Jock. 20 goals would be great, right?
I said between 15 and 25. 15 and 25.
Let him go again. Let him go again. Yeah,
one more season, guys. That's what we're asking. That's all me and Tony are asking. One more season.
Cool. Notorious Big Smoke. Ajes Pende, I never thought I'd be jealous of Chelsea player. Chelsea shit. I'm not going to say that. But I wish we signed João Pedro instead of overthinking. Let's say you've got the same argument that you've got with Alvarez at the moment for João Pedro. He's very similar to Havertz. He's a very similar profile type of player. And I think you need something different. I've even, a lot of people have gone now, no chance. But I've even, his name gone on my head now, the Crystal Palace striker.
Mateta.
I've even said go and get Mateta. Just because you got something completely different. If you're going to be launching balls into the box, you want someone to be on the end of them. And he's one of the best I've seen in the air in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's a backup option, but a lot of people laugh at me when I say that. But what I've seen of that guy, he's a brilliant goal scorer, and he's on form. He's actually carried Crystal Palace at times. Yeah. Although watching Match of the Day last week, he did miss some sitters, so maybe I should take.
There's a lot of stuff in the background with him. Don't be surprised if he could potentially be on his way out of Crystal Palace. I don't think he's overly happy.
I think deadline day Wayne is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it could be. It's going to be a very. I think that's what all. Because let's be honest, guys. Other than Chelsea and swapping players with Aston Villa and being dodgy, and Man City signing £100 million midfielders, it has not been a fantastic transfer window. It might explode these last couple of days. It could be Barcola looking at Liverpool, looks like that's livening up. Alvarez is constantly, and it's annoying to a lot of us, as we've already said on this channel. I won't go over that, but it's not been a great transfer window. It might explode, let's see. But yeah, it's been an interesting one. Terence has made a quick one. I'll read out for you, Tone.
Go on, mate.
Which you can answer this one. We built a home on solid foundations. Now we need to work on the furnishings. 100%. That's a great way to put it, mate. Great way to put it.
Cool. There's loads of comments. Let's fly through
this.
Mate.
Get them through.
Show. Guys, smash them likes up. It does help the channel out. And last stream, you all let us down as about 4 likes. So get them likes up.
Yeah, listen, I know we know it's a pain, but anyone watching, even if you didn't like it and you've come on and me and Tony are boring the crap out of you, please guys, just come back to the video, stick the like. It just helps the channel out. That's all we're asking.
Yes, you're moving like Tottenham supporters. Hit that like button.
Yeah, just hit that like button because it really does help the channel.
Cool. York is like my uncle with dementia. Lost standing there. Oh, that's a bit harsh, Terence. A bit harsh.
I think
what's going on.
It's because he's not. Yeah, as I say, he's not the team. Arteta was not. He doesn't play.
He's got good hair though. He's got good hair.
His hair's good. His missus is quite. His missus as well looks after.
He left his missus to come to the Gooners.
He left his missus to come to us. He's got back with her now. He might be ready to bang 25, 30 goals because he was with her at Sporting, scoring 40 goals a season. So yeah, listen, I know what you're saying, mate, but
maybe he was missing her.
Who knows? That's why I want to give him a second season.
Cool. Jeff Bende. Simone football kills attackers. Yeah, which attacker has made him world class? Yes, which attacker has he made world class? I think to be argued with that, Jazz, for what Tony said. Alvarez, as much as he's looking good stuff, he's kind of killed him in the league, hasn't he, mate? So look, you know, I'll tell you what, I'm really sorry about it, Tony. It's just because I was when I'm being a postie. Sorry, Wayne. A player that comes to mind, Falcao.
Okay, I want to have a quick one quickly on Gyökeres because this isn't me digging Arteta out. But if you guys remember, Aubameyang was one of the best finishers, and I was excited when we got him, right? And slowly and surely, Arteta's system killed an out-and-out goal-scoring machine in Aubameyang. Yeah, so when you play a certain way, when you play not to lose, look at Gyökeres. Bangs in 52 goals for Sporting. Yes, it's a different league. 52 goals, but he hits 21. He hits 21 when the attack's not functioning, when the manager's not playing to that strength. Aubameyang, as much as he had the issues and the attitude issues at the end time, we also have to look at the fact that certain players couldn't play. Look at Lacazette. Lacazette wasn't an out-and-out striker anymore. He was dropping in, and because Lacazette could play football, he got in. Aubameyang was your on the shoulder, pacey, run into the box, bang, goal. And he was like 30 goals a season for Dortmund. Come to us, he banged in 30 goals, didn't he? One season, got himself a new contract and went downhill. Because when Arteta came in and slowly implemented how he wanted to play, the striker suffers. You know, so that's why a false nine, like a Havertz, like a Moreno, potentially an Alvarez, will go all right in the system because Arteta does not cater for strikers like an Aubameyang. I'm not comparing Aubameyang and Gyökeres. I'm saying they're the type of strikers they were scoring goals for fun time, you know. So you also have to look at the system in certain times as well, guys. You can always look at the system, but that's done. It's just something I was thinking about earlier because Aubameyang went the same way, didn't he? He struggled in that system.
Yeah. Cool. Comments are flying up, Wayne. Let's get through these. So
let's keep reel him off, mate. Reel him off.
Yeah. Can we actually discuss the fact that whether Šeško or Gyökeres was wanted? The data had João Pedro top of the list. I think that was the buyer that we should have gone for because he is Kai times York. A good player. I think maybe Chelsea have ruined him, but when we was linked with him, I was a bit. He's a good player, but I feel like he was always a risk for me. He wasn't I think when he was more linked with York. Like, don't get me wrong, he's in the Portuguese league. 97 goals is not to be sniffed at in any football league in the world, right? It means you know where the goal is. So when we were sort of talking about Šeško and Gyökeres, I'll look at Šeško's stats, look at how he plays. Very tall guy. I always thought that for me, York was the safe option. And it's turned out to be the case because I think he's had a very average season last season, but it was enough to get us over the line. We needed that goal tally that he got was what we was lacking the year before.
Yeah.
Right, to get us through, these games. Even Eza played his part. Every single player played their part. Newcastle, good example. Yeah. Newcastle come part of the bus. They were playing for a draw. They weren't interested. Eze comes out with a brilliant corner set piece, top corner, 1-0 away we go. So everyone contributed last season, but I do think that we can't discount York's contribution to that title last season. That's why I think he's done enough to have one more season with us. He does it again, and he's not doing much, Wayne. Bring Alvarez in as well, by the way. If York hasn't isn't pulling his weight or he's not doing what we want him to do, then you can go, Joe, what? We're going to call it a day. And I think,
and me and Tony will stand corrected, guys. You've heard us here, but I'll stand corrected on X as well in the Gooner Booth and my personal one. But that's where we stand.
Yeah, he does offer something, mate. Yeah, we're not discounting that, by the way. Yok just gets in the way of our attack. I disagree, Terence. I think that no other striker in our team does the channel running like he does. That option that he gives us. The goal against Palace, I think it was it Leeds, where he's run down the channel and he just flicked it across the box and it's been tapped in by Eza. No, sorry, Eza run down the wing, laid it in.
One down the wing. That was typical.
Havertz doesn't do that.
That was a typical Yok whole time, and it was not done enough last season.
We don't need the opposition to have an extra defender.
Listen, I get it. As I say, for me, as I say, I just think it's it should be less about him touching the ball. It should be more about him being fed the chances and occupying it, getting into that bench, finding himself the space in the box, doing what Haaland does.
Yeah.
Yes, he has to. His football skills can be non-existent. It can be frustrating sometimes, Tone. But that's because they're knocking the ball up to him. He's not doing what he should do. But there are moments when he has held the ball up well and moves on. There's different ways to play with him, mate. And I think that is the difference at the moment. And I think with Gyökeres, with a Solis, an informed Saka, Ødegaard holding that ball up and releasing him passing, actually setting him into space and into the box, he'll score more goals. There was quite a few occasions last year where Ødegaard wasn't releasing the ball quick enough to him. He needs footballers around him. He's your finisher. I don't want him to play football if he's in the team. Don't want him playing.
I think Zolis is his key, mate, because Zolis literally head down, straight across the box. Right, and there was moments where Havertz weren't even there. You're looking at it going,
Havertz won't be getting in it. He hasn't got that. There's so much things where he doesn't do what you need him to do. He looks aesthetically pleasing and he plays the ball. He can play football. There's no denying that. There was never any denying that. But all we're saying is get someone different up there to a Havertz, and don't bring Alvarez in. Don't get rid of Yok. Just have an option, especially if you want to go 4 competitions deep. Time there's going to be a lot of games to be played, mate. A lot of different scenarios, I
mean, Notorious has put a comment to Terence Tibb about we're going to get the Leverkusen Havertz this season. I mean, he's a winger. Leverkusen. I think everyone's forgetting that he wasn't a striker. He was an attacking winger.
He was an attacking player.
So Terence, Yok Havertz is a fantasy world. Let's come back to reality.
Yeah, we want Henry, Terence. We want Henry.
Yeah, Arsenal fans have shown love to Yok. Yeah, I took my nephew to see Yok. They were doing the stupid celebration, but now they boo him.
Yeah,
it's not so it changes, isn't it? I'm ready to admit I do have a bias towards technical players, be it Ødegaard, Alvarez, or Havertz, or Paz. But Jas Pender, you don't like Eza. Eza's probably one of the most technical players we've got.
Yeah.
He just hates Eza. I think he no matter what we say, he could score a goal from the halfway line, do an overhead kick, and do a world class kick up, or I don't know, just do something nuts. And I think Jas Pender go, but it was just a good touch, wasn't
it?
Love you, mate. Yok don't hold the ball up. He can control the ball to hold it.
I think means he can't control.
He can't. So he can't control the ball to hold it. Yeah. Do you know what, Terence? I must admit, when we last see him, I think it was in the friendly against Como when he come on. The ball did bounce off of him. He didn't hold it up. But then, I mean, pre-season's a bit tough to judge someone by. And I think once he does get back into the swing of things, like you see last season, he didn't have a pre-season. He come in. Couple of months he's getting stick, but by Christmas he was brilliant. He was getting around the pitch.
You know what it is, Tone, and the perception. I mean, look, the basics of football. Listen, he could do it at Sporting. This is a different kind of level. He could do it at Sporting. He could do it at Coventry. I've seen him enough to know that he can do that, Terence. I mean, I get it. My thing with him, and I'll tell you what it is with Gyökeres, right? Is everyone saw the 97 goals against Sporting, and then they thought he's going to come to us and bang goals in, and it's a tougher team to play in. But the thing is as well, Terence, is just do us a favour, Do us a favour and go and if you watch his goals and any one of his goals, majority of his goals, take away the penalties because he does score a lot. Did score a lot of penalties for Sporting and quite a few for Coventry. But his goals wasn't always. And you got a bit more space in the Championship time, but his goals weren't always about him killing that ball dead and putting the ball in the top bins. Yeah, it was about him being on the end of passes or being in the right place at the right time. That's all me and Tony are saying. Yeah, that struggle. Yeah, fundamentals of football. Yeah, I get that. 100% get that. But that's not what me and Tony are asking for. We're just asking for when that ball falls in the box and he levers it into the top corner. Or, as I say, you say he can't control the ball, but he took the ball, took a Spurs defender out of the way, bent it round him and bent it round the keeper at their new stadium to turn the game on its head. He, what I mean? Yeah. He can't control the ball, yet he bends the ball over the Inter Milan keeper when it was a great goal. It was a great goal, great finish. He can do it, Tel. There are times when I get what you're saying. There are times when he's rusty and he's not doing that. But he can, when given the opportunity, put the ball in the back of the net. And he's done it 21 times. And that is pressure penalties. That's pressure goals. That might be tap-ins, but it's a tap-in against Chelsea to turn that League Cup tie on its head. We cocked up in the final, and that was on Arteta, but he scored pivotal goals. He still needs to be around the team.
Yeah, just penalties, but maybe not penalties. But in the final, I would trust Havertz or Alvarez over Gyökeres. Whatever we might think of Havertz, he's a player of the big games. Well, he's missed big penalties though, hasn't he, in the past? Havertz, one thing I would say. Better to sell and cash in now. Everyone, Mateta. Would Mateta struggle like Yok in our system? Yeah, Barry Everton will have an amazing, big fella, but technical. Yeah, good player. Yeah. Charles, how you doing, mate? I don't think I've spoken to you this evening. Wayne, Tony, I would say, why did we go? Why did we go after Ferran Torres? That is why I feel the club is looking at profiles not as a profile, but as how famous the player is. Firstly, I think Ferran Torres is going PSG.
No, he's gone. No. I think he's already gone. I think what he means, Tony, is what? Pardon me.
Why did we not go for it?
Why didn't we go?
Do you know what? When I see him in the World Cup, I actually looked at him for what he's a player that would do well in our team, in our system. So we are just looking at famous players, all for scoring 1 or 2 long ranges in UEFA Champions League. Yeah, that is not a plan enough of the windows now, mate. Yeah. Wayne's now in the end. Can't wait for it to bloody shut.
I'm just done. I'm just done there, guys.
If it closed tomorrow, Wayne, I would be happy. We've got enough depth in our squad. I know Martin's going, but
the thing is, people have asked. You know what the club has done, and I think what annoys a lot of fans as well is that the club of we've hardly got the best. We have arguably had the best defence in the world in the league as well. Midfield wasn't too sad in terms. Obviously we needed a bit more depth, which we've done. We had to do the midfield, in my opinion. And Guimaraes is a fantastic addition, but defensively we didn't really need to add a concert until Saliba got injured. And then we've gone right. I mean, obviously MLS, I thought he might have potentially gone for. I think a centre half. MLS is a midfielder now, right? You've got Calafiori, you've got Hincapié left. You've got, I think, like a concert. I think Mosquera more so moves over to be cover for Gabriel, concert cover for Saliba. There's your centre half. You've got White and Timber. Concert also can cover it right back when them guys cover. So we did need these players, but the club haven't upgraded the. Everyone said we need an upgrade at centre forward, need an upgrade at left wing. For me, we've needed an upgrade at left wing. Solis is underrated and been, in my opinion, been fantastic since he's joined the club. But yeah, when you're going for Vinny Jr., he's right. You are going for them. Vinny's attitude would have stunk. He would have killed that. I reckon he would have killed that. Dressing room. He would have killed dressing room in 1 or 2 years, guys. But you were going, if you're going to level raiser, that's him. So for me, bring in, if you're going to bring that someone, or if you're going to bring one elite attacker in, do it and shut it. If it was shut tomorrow time, I've had enough of it now, mate. So I'll just see you later. Boom, happy days. Because the fact, let me look this way. If people don't like Yok, people love Havertz. People don't like Martinelli. People like Solis. Whatever your thing is. Mikel Arteta with lesser players, say Solis. Trossard was clutch, by the way, guys. Please, this is not hating on Trossard. I'm just saying what I've seen of Solis could be an upgrade, right? But he won the league, right, with practically 2 midfielders Yeah, he only put MLS in for the last 5 games, but Mikel Arteta won this Premier League, almost took home 2 other trophies with lesser players. Right, he won the league with Gyökeres, who everyone's saying, like as Terence has said, he hasn't got touch. Okay, viable opinions, but he won the league having a striker like that up top. He won the league with having an out-of-form Martinelli, an out-of-form Trossard at left wing. He won the league with Madueke not pulling up trees. He had it with Eze being in and out of, not being in and out of form and just giving him sprinkling of quality goals, by the way, sprinklings of magic. But he was in and out of form. Do you know what I mean, Tone? And, Super Mendy started like a house on fire. It got to him playing so many games. But what Mikel can do with what we have, I would not be afraid to close the window now, because he's won with lesser players. So he's been upgraded now. If he had 1 or 2 elite attackers, it's over. It's over for the league by December, January, because this guy has won the league with lesser players. He's got the mind, he's got the tactics there. You give this guy two elite forwards, it's game over. But that's why I still want Gyökeres, because I still think that this manager can win the league with a Gyökeres who people don't rate. He can win the league with a support striker in Havertz. He can win the league if he wanted to, Tone, with Moreno. We just had like a Sterling. He had to play alongside Sterling, and an out-of-form Martinelli. This manager can do it with lesser players. So there's not a problem with it shutting for me, if it did.
Yeah, cool. I think there's some comments at the bottom in response to you there, Wayne. It's not really about Gyökeres being bad. I grew up watching one-touch football, Wenger ball, or prime Barcelona. So it'll be hard for me to like Gyökeres. Some others might like him. It's preference, basically. Yeah, it is. Everyone's got a different...
Listen, we were fantastic.
Everyone wants to be entertained, Wayne, doesn't he? Everyone wants to be entertained.
I know. He's just... What he is, Tony, he's an old-fashioned, out-of-date centre-forward. That is the problem. And you don't play to his strengths like a Coventry or Sporting, he's going to look like he did for us. That's the plain heads and tails of it.
I blame Dennis Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, because
Dennis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry spoiled us.
10 years.
They spoiled us.
We don't know any different, do we?
Yeah.
No.
We got absolutely spoiled.
Jess Penne put, Eza hate isn't really about Eza, it's just about Odegaard being replaced, who is my favourite player.
We know that, Jazva. We know that.
Dan, I like Gyökeres because he scores us goals and he will score more this season, even though he may look a bit ungangly. This is a player there's a player there. There is one there. There is one there. I'm going to die on that hill, Dan. There is a player there. I'm going to die on that hill. That's where I am. Again, the comparison we was looking at was Alan Shearer. It doesn't look pretty, but he's going to give you goals.
He'll give you that. Alan Shearer was strong. Ian Wright would do the dinks and the goals. But I'm just saying, strikers like that are old school, and it kind of just reminded me of that time. You don't see them type of strikers anymore.
No,
and that's what I wanted. Do you know what I mean?
Well, look, the argument I'd say is,
call me an old romantic.
If the links are true, why does Barcelona want him if he isn't that good?
Listen, he will. As I say, he will feed in the Spanish league. Atletico Madrid or Barcelona, he will feed. And in fairness, Tone, a lot of Arsenal fans, you do get a lot of it, and that they don't like Gyökeres. He's not. He's under it. He's not appreciated here. So for his own good, it might just be good. Go somewhere else, bang goals, and do what you do, and go play for a team that will play the way you're going to play. Because Arteta likes a certain striker, and he might not be the answer for Arteta, mate,
Yeah, true. Another thing that goes against Gyökeres, yes, he got 97 goals, but the player that replaced him got 47 GA in his first season. So is it the Gyökeres or the league? I'd think it's probably the league, mate. I think the league isn't that great.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the Portuguese, but I don't think their league is
the league. It's a farmers' league. It is a farmers' league, but he can still put the ball in the back of the net. Was what we was hoping. It was just something different. Do you know what I mean? It's just that he just looks ungainly when he plays the game, but he's something different, Tone. That's all we're asking.
Yeah. Charles, very, very good question and very good debate here. Debate over a Player of the Year award to Bruno. When Rodri gets the golden ball in the World Cup without G's and A's, no one bats an eyelid. When other City players were getting the Player of the Year minus Erling, no one says anything. Yeah. Firstly, I'm biased. I thought Rice was the best player in the league by a mile last season, just because
he won the Premier League, Tone. He played 20 more games. He played 20 more games than Bruno.
I question that Bruno Fernandes is on his day is a very good player, and we don't think we can deny that on this channel as supporters. I think he's a good player, but I don't understand how he won it. He got good. He's got good assists and that stuff, but in a very average Man United team who've done sod all last season, right? Any Man United supporters in the chat, please feel free to challenge me. But I don't. I think that even if it's not Arsenal players, I think that there's better players that.
He was banging. He was spamming corners and spamming, getting goals like that. But he was putting the performance in and getting his assists. He's got them because of his performance between January to May under Carrick. But there were no pressure on United. They were out of competitions. They're out of European football, right? By when maybe I can't remember, I think they went sort of March or something.
Well, getting knocked out by Grimsby Town should have been enough for them not to be any of their players.
How is he? He is a captain of that foot. Exactly, he's a captain of that football club, and he gets preferential treatment for spamming assists when they had nothing to fight for, nothing to play for by European football. Yeah.
Cool, mate. We'll get these comments and then we'll start closing it down for the evening, guys. Terence, we won the league because of the defence and City and Liverpool having car crash seasons. We almost lost the league due to the attack.
It was that, and it was also when we introduced Havertz to the attack. Prior to that, we were all right, but Havertz come into the team when we started flopping. We have to be clear.
Well, he played Havertz in the 8-wide midfield a few times, and we just know that doesn't work. And I feel like
it doesn't work. And he has to play in false nine, but
he has this sort of relationship with Havertz, like Wenger had with Abui. Like I just played him, and you're like, why he has to be played? He's shit. But there's moments where
he come back, and he was poor. You know what I mean? He had moments where you're like, what is this guy doing, sort of thing, and this is the thing, whatever you want to say, it kind of halted attack a bit because, again, he's got to try and find form, and it's the middle of a title-winning season, and he's putting his favourite player back in who was struggling for form.
Yeah,
but I know what you're saying, Terence. Again, they were, but listen, we're overdue. Arsenal, even though they've been poor, they have been on the downward spiral, but we've had more points than any other football team in the last 3 seasons. We were beaten twice by Pep Guardiola and his cheating machine. And obviously, I think we noticed it was twice, and in Liverpool. But you look over the last 3 or 4 seasons, Arsenal Football Club have got the most points out of anyone, and we've only got 1 title. So, it's just us being good, but we've cut the teams we've come up against. When Liverpool won its own the year before last, we were crap. We were poor. Right? And let's not forget, we did have Havertz playing for us for the majority till January, and we were crap. So it's neither here or there in terms of Gyökeres and Havertz. We were crap with Havertz that season as well. So let's not forget that, guys. And then we lost both. We lost Saka, Jesus, and Havertz. And that was it. We had Moreno and Sterling, and all due respect, Moreno done a good job, but having Sterling on the right wing was atrocious. It was poor,
Yeah, that's bad.
So let's look at things in perspective, guys.
Charles put, but just when it's Arsenal's turn, 21 assists makes a big deal, and lack of G's and A's are City as we didn't win it.
I cited, but we didn't. Yeah, I've just kicked me toe on the bloody chair. Sorry, guys. Carry on reading, so don't mind me.
I'll get through these comments, mate, and I think we'll call it there.
Just getting tired now, guys.
Yeah, it's a long evening. I can't even read. I actually don't mind Bruno getting it. What goes against Rice is the debate is he had 5 outstanding players with him. So votes would be distributed and should be distributed. Bruno carried alone.
Mm.
Yeah, love. Yeah, I think Arsenal had a good presence at the award ceremony. I think we done quite well. I think 5 or 6 of our players made the best 11 of the year.
The team of the year.
So yeah, Notorious. Honestly, manager players look more confident this season. I think our attack will be more fluid, but not 22-23 fluid. We look more confident.
There's a lot more confidence, guys. I've got to say, really is.
We're playing. The handbrake's come off a little bit. I think now that we've won the title, I think last year Arteta was doing everything in his power to win the title. That meant if it meant sitting back, scoring.
It meant spamming. It meant spamming 1-0s and sitting on it. And yeah, that was it. There were times it didn't work. There were times, But yeah, listen. I think this is what I'm saying as well, Tony. This is what we're trying to say. If a confident team with a confident Yacht and a confident manager, confident Havertz, these players are going to contribute. A fully fit Havertz will contribute to this football club. We're in agreement with that. If the club add Alvarez and that's it, we sell Martinelli and we look to maybe, like Tony said, not as much as you agree with putting Ez on there. Listen, let's keep what we've got and build on it and build the confidence. And football, I think that the shackles are off. And I want to see a Mikel Arteta with the shackles off, guys. That's what I want to see. How the attack functions is what is.
Yeah, well said.
Remember, it's the manager tone. It's not necessarily the players. Some managers can turn shit into wine, and you know what I mean. It's that kind of stuff, and Mikel can do that. He can. I want to say one thing for him before we start to close it down. Look at Mustafi. Mustafi was shocking, but Mustafi started to actually improve under Arteta, and that's a tough thing to say because he was a shocking football player, a shocking defender. But Mikel was getting him to perform much better and be less shaky, better on the ball. He was still he's still a poor player, but I'm just saying you can look at Mustafi under Emery, under Wenger, look at Mustafi under Arteta. We all know what that manager can do. So, let's see what this manager can do with his shackles off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bruno played for assist. Competitiveness is lost. Passing where shooting is needed. Yeah. It's okay. They hate us. It's our history, George Gray. Spot on, mate. Spot on.
Spot on, Charles. Spot on.
Yeah, Jaspende, we had 5 players in the team this season, so no one carried alone. Yeah, Bruno to the extent carried alone. United would not be 10 without Bruno. Yeah. Welcome, buddy. Grazy's put Mourinho's best striker.
Listen,
I wouldn't say
mate,
he's the best, but he does the job for us.
You know what? Please don't think this is a channel that's saying Havertz. We're trying to be objective in criticism of Havertz and Yacht. Moreno can do what Havertz does.
He can, and he can do it well. He can do it well.
I'm just saying.
So
keep that in mind. We can't do that wrong.
We'll make his last comment of the evening, and then we'll start closing it down, Wayne. Get them likes up. I doubt Mikel can turn shit into one. Biggest example, Madueke.
All right. Sorry, Jazz. I'll rephrase that. Most shit Arteta can turn into wine. Maybe not Madueke. I apologise, mate. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone's comment. We appreciate coming on, mate. Honestly, that's what I mean. But you know what I kind of mean. If a player like that, but look, maybe that. Let's hope Noni's got it all to prove. Eza as well. He's not exempt from criticism. Tone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Super Mendy. Can he prove with Guimaraes coming in and MLS? Can he prove that was just fatigue after playing 50, 60 games in the top league? Can he come on and prove that? Yeah, I'm actually. You know what? By the way, I'm a great midfielder. Do you know what I mean? There's a few players in there who've got to raise their game, guys, and no one's safe if you're not raising your game. Erdegaard as well. Keep the form up that you've shown because you can be. Look at Nico Paz at Como. That could be an option. So these players have got to rise. Madueke's got it straight away, Tone, isn't he? Dalman, you're straight on it now, mate. You might not be back up.
Dalman deserves more.
Dalman's on your backside, Nonny. Pick it up, mate. But also as well, guys, it can be sometimes like with Martinelli. I think Arteta is kind of. It's more than likely. It's easy for us as fans.
Yeah.
Fabian Ruiz at PSG, very good shout, matey. Martinelli could be one of his biggest regrets. I think as fans like yourself, like some of us on here, you'd be like, I feel bad for Martinelli. Martinelli will be his biggest regret that he could not improve him because he hasn't improved, Tone. He is a good player, he just hasn't improved. And he hasn't elevated his game. But that will be on Arteta. That will be giving him, when he's selling it, that'll be with a heavy heart. But he's not been able to improve Martinelli as a coach, and that will play on his mind a bit as well. You have to be able to kind of be realistic in that sense,
Do you guys remember Guendouzi? I think that would be Arteta's biggest regret. He had a lot of potential. No, he was a good player, but a troublesome.
It would be his biggest regret, but I think he just couldn't control him. Look, you know what? I'll tell you what as well, Jazz fan. He more likely he'll regret Ozil, he'll regret Aubameyang because what a partnership if them two were top of their game.
Yeah.
But certain things, certain aspects, you have to have certain, it has to be certain things, weren't there? There were principles that he had. I can't remember what he said, but when he joined the club, and they did some. Thank you, Tone. The non-negotiables, and some of these players haven't got it. So you have to join the club and have these non-negotiables, whatever they might be.
Yeah. Cool. On that note, we're going to call it an evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Sorry I'm late again. As you can see, I'm sitting in the dark with some shitty lamps that I've had to go and find. So my apologies on that. Guys, hit that like button. Come and join us on Sunday for the match preview of the away fixture to Aston Villa on Monday night. Please
join. Spam them comments. Me and Tony love it. Don't ask Tony about Martinelli. It will still be raw on Sunday for him as well.
It will be, yeah. But I'm hoping that by Sunday we'll have a little bit more on transfer news. Whether
hopefully, dude. I can't carry on like this, Bones. It's got to end. I've had enough now, dude. I've had enough.
Yeah. Cool. On that note, guys, have a lovely evening. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good evening. Take care.
Guys, all the best. Thank you very much.